As I'm 26 years old, still relatively young, however, as I got to the next financial level of hitting six figures, I was able to determine what are at least the basic necessities of financial goals that we should hit before 30. I kind of took this and ran with it, came up with 25 financial goals that you should have. Hey guys, how's it going, and thanks for coming. I'm Nick, and this is Real Life Money, helping you make real money so you can have a real life. So in this video, we're going over 25 financial goals that you should have before you get to 30. I had a recent video going over a huge list similar to this, 50 things for frugal living tips. Some people seem to love it, so I came up with another large list for you guys as well. So get a pen and paper. We're going to be checking them off if you've done this, and if you haven't, you might want to jump on this. Now, if you're 31 and didn't do this, it's not like you're going to be not successful, but we do have to look at these goals. So let's get right into it. Starting off with number one, first and foremost, is a retirement account. Most likely, if you're working for an employer, a lot of them have a 401k plan. Sign up for that, start making contributions, especially if they match those contributions. Number two is a second retirement account. So you could also have a 401k plan that's with your job. You could also have a Roth IRA on the side. It's after-tax money, so you get money from your job and you can put it away for retirement in a Roth IRA. Grow that on the side, and once you retire, it's tax-free. And number three, you guessed it, a third retirement. No, I'm kidding. Number three is have a set bank account set up. Like something that's like just on the side, a primary where you actually save your money. It could be a savings account. I personally have a money market account. So obviously you're not going to make a lot of money with that. However, they do have some interest, so it is just growing a little bit on the side. And by the way, there are so many out there. You could go to a credit union. They usually give higher rates. You can have an online bank account. One of the most popular ones is Ally Bank. You could definitely look into that. Coming on number four is actually the first main number that you should always know in your life, and that is your net worth. What you're actually worth. You're taking all your assets minus all your debts. What are you left with? If that's negative, we're going to have to change that, but at least know what you're worth. Number five would be the second most important number that everyone should know in our lives, which would be a credit score. If you don't know what your credit score is by 30, that's an issue. Let's change it. There's also a bunch of credit card companies. Every single monthly bill, it tells you right there. It's not a specific one, but it's an estimate. So that's all you need to know. If your credit is good, if it's bad. And if it's bad, change that. Number six would be, I would argue, the third main number that we should really understand in our lives. And that would be your monthly cash flow. Now I'm talking about, you're looking at your income. I mean, like, know your salary. Like, some people don't even know what they're making. So know your income minus your expenses, and at the end is your cash flow. Are you positive every single month or negative every single month? Again, if it's negative every single month, we're going to have to change that, but at least know what that is. So before going into number seven, hopefully this list is helping you guys out. If you have any other additional tips that you think you should definitely have a financial goal of by 30, definitely leave it in the comments down below. But number seven, have at least an idea of the career direction that you want to go toward. So this is kind of iffy. I know it's difficult to understand what we actually want to do in our lives. However, and of course we could always change that down the road, but it would be beneficial for us if we know at least the direction that we want to face. You might not know the specific position. However, just to use, because we're talking about money. If you want to be in the financial industry, focus on the financial industry and not just like all of a sudden move over to, I don't know, healthcare. Not saying healthcare is bad, but at least have that direction so you could actually gain experience and move up the ranks over time. Number 8 would be have a car for yourself. Now, a lot of people argue, lease, own. I would arguably say own a car, not a new one. Have a used car that will last you for as close to forever as you can get, but own a car so you don't have to worry about it, so you could actually use it. And number 9, I definitely put this right after having a car, because we're talking about pay off your debts. That includes a car. So if you're debt free by your 30s, that is perfect, and that's how you could definitely create wealth much quicker after your 30s. So definitely focus on paying off those debts, especially student loans and credit cards. Get those out of your life. Number 10 would be subscribing to this channel if you haven't done already. I'm just kidding. Maybe not. However, number 10 is getting your feet wet with investing. If you're going to make mistakes, definitely make them earlier on in our lives so we don't lose a bunch of money like later on. So definitely start playing around with, like we said before, retirement accounts. Start understanding funds like mutual funds, stocks, bonds, and everything like that, and definitely start investing into them so you see how they move. Now, number 11 would be stop buying ridiculous toys and things we don't need. Like, we're approaching 30 here, people. Like, we should at least try to be in control of our money, and if we haven't by now, that's an issue and it should be changed. Like, I'm not even gonna make a joke about that, because that's a problem and has to be addressed. And we kind of have to grow up by now. And that's not to be like mean, that's just how it is. Like, eventually we have to grow up, and if that's an issue now, when are we gonna start growing up? This has to be taken care of. Number 12 is being aware of your health insurance. So if you don't know what you're paying or don't know plans, because there's usually multiple different plans, so you should definitely go back and try to choose the best one for you. Some people could be overpaying. You might not even know what you have, so definitely be aware of your health insurance. Number 13 is if you have kids only, but this would be setting up a college savings plan for your children. So you just put that away every single month so it grows for them. College costs are probably going to go up just because they're at ridiculous points now. Whether college is good or bad is really up to the person, but definitely I would rather have money than not. Kind of going along with this, number 14, which could be with kids or marriage, but you would have to have life insurance and a will set up at that point. God forbid something happens to you. Now you have people that are dependent, semi-dependent, or fully dependent on you. So you have to make sure the people you care about are cared for. Number 15, like, come on, seriously, stop paying fees. I worked at a bank before. A lot of people pay fees. Banks make billions off of fees. Stop paying them. If you need a minimum balance in your bank account, keep the minimum balance. Stop making late payments. Let's get current here. Number 16, which would be to have an emergency fund. So we kind of talked about like a savings account or a money market account before. Now you want like a financial cushion in one of those accounts in case life happens to you, because life will happen to you. You would need some type of cushion there to help you out, to pay some extra bills and whatnot there. Every single person's different. Some people say a few months, 3 to 6, 6 to 9, 12 months. Really look at your situation, and I'm pretty sure you could probably come up with a good number there. Number 17, which would be to have a good accountant. And I think this is really important because having a good accountant could actually save you a lot of money. Now, yeah, you can do it yourself. By all means, do whatever you wish. However, I would rather have someone that knows what they're doing and has done this over and over and over again to do this one more time for us. So I think having a good accountant is definitely something to have. Number 18, for you entrepreneurs out there and you want to become like financially independent, financial freedom, and all that good stuff, by 30 we should definitely have a side hustle chosen out, starting to work toward a side hustle, and just doing something on the side, something that we love, and we could even make extra money on the side. So if you got this far, give this video a thumbs up if this is helping you out. But moving on to number 19, I was iffy if I was going to include this, but I think it is kind of important. This is going to include like couples or married people only. Not to say that you need to be with someone, like that's definitely not the case. You can be successful on your own. That's really up to you, and I would support you either way. However, if you are with someone, you have a partner, even a business partner, make sure they are financially sound just like you. If they're in their 30s, they should be acting financially responsible like in their 30s. Like you. And if they're not, heck, you could share this video to them. I'll talk to them for you. Number 20, we probably have heard of before, but we might not understand what it is understanding what inflation is. A lot of people don't know what that is, and that's basically prices go up over time. So realize that inflation right now, I mean, the Fed is saying it might be around 2%, whether you want to agree with that or not. But if inflation is 2% and you get like a raise of 2%, you're not making out with anything. It's not like you're making more. You're keeping the same buying power. So you shouldn't be spending more because you're making more. You're actually kind of making the same. Same thing in your bank account. If you're getting like a 1% interest when inflation is 2%, you're actually losing buying power at that point. And that's why inflation is very important to understand, because it could silently be chipping away our net worth. Number 21, which is kind of going back to the awareness factor, is being aware what your interest rates are. So if you have multiple loans, you have multiple credit cards, loans, you're getting into mortgage, understand what those interest rates are. Know how much interest you're paying. And speaking of a mortgage, which would be number 22, is I would say at least have a plan about real estate. So whether you want to get into a house, end up buying a house, and eventually getting into something like that. So start saving toward that, putting a down payment, going back to credit score. That's why we want a good credit score. So you get better rates, you get better benefits and everything like that. So understand what you actually want to do. Have a plan. Number 23, which I think is very important, and it's so simple, of having an automatic like transfer or contribution. And this could be for like a savings account, just transfer money straight into your savings account, so it helps you save money much easier. And the same thing with investing into funds or stocks or anything like that, or just like your retirement accounts. Automatically every single month take out of your savings, your money market, whatever, and put it into your retirement account so it grows over time. And as we're talking about retirement accounts and growing our money, number 24, we definitely have to understand it could be life-changing, and it could make us millionaires, if not multimillionaires, is understanding compound interest, how your money makes you more money, and then that gives you more interest, and it builds quicker and quicker and quicker, and over time it grows exponentially. And we made it to good old number 25. And this is kind of like a thought process, because I believe our mindset's very important. If we think the wrong way, we're going to do the wrong things. So just being constantly evolving every single day and continuously learning. Because if you're not doing anything, if you're not learning, if you're not moving forward, you're moving backwards. So that's why we have to keep up with basically everything in our lives. And do not compare yourself to other people. The only real competition that you have to worry about, yeah, there are other people out there that we have to worry about. I get that. However, the only person that you should compare yourself to is yourself yesterday. And I think that's a cool thought. And definitely don't compare yourself to people in your 20s, because they have more time. Just look at yourself and how you can improve from here. So those are my 25 financial goals that we should have before the age of 30. If you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, please leave them down below. I would love, definitely love, especially on this video, what you have to say. If you have any additional ideas, leave them down below so we could actually see what we need to do, so we could help other people as well. So thank you so much for watching, guys. Really appreciate it. And I'll see you in the next one.